But yeah, look, where to start off today? I mean, with a bit of housekeeping, let's go with that one. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there is a lot of talk about Reece Williams maybe going on loan up to Aberdeen. Obviously, we've just recently moved the player up there full time, so another loan up there to a club that seem to have treated our players well and that we have a good relationship with makes sense. It doesn't look like Reece Williams' future will lie at Liverpool, so a loan, see how that goes, and then maybe a permanent deal. There's been talk today as well about Nat Phillips leaving the club permanently. Now, I don't think a deal is agreed yet, but he has been linked with Leeds United, so keep an eye on that one. And look, I think that would be a good move for him. Nat Phillips, he strikes me as a Leeds type of player, you know. Hard as nails, puts his head in anywhere, will head a brick if it's crossed into the box. I mean, there's lots to admire about him, and I think Leeds fans would absolutely love him. So let's wait and see how that one works out. Other than that, they were talking about contract renewals or extensions, and the most likely one to be done first is Trent Alexander-Arnold. The club aren't in any immediate rush to get that done, but it looks like he will be the next one to have his Liverpool contract extended. Yeah, so that's where we're at with the housekeeping, and now we'll go into the main stories of the night. And I guess we'll start off with the absolutely ludicrous statements that Liverpool and John W. Henry are apparently readying a €300 million bid for Kylian Mbappe, and that's according to a FIFA registered agent. So this is where it gets really weird. So this guy was on speaking with Marca, who are, of course, a Spanish outlet who have newspapers, radio stations. And he was saying that Liverpool are preparing to come in and try and rain on Florentino Perez and Real Madrid's party to sign Kylian Mbappe. Now, what makes this story a little bit interesting is that, according to this person, PSG are really angry. PSG are really angry at Mbappe and the whole situation. And we know that PSG have formed for, well, shall we say flexing. They went in and they bought Neymar from Barcelona when nobody thought that buyout clause would be triggered. They went in, paid it, and took Neymar to Paris. So what I'm saying is, if they get it into their heads that they are going to make it as difficult as possible for Kylian Mbappe to go to Real Madrid, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else benefited from it. But we know our owner, right? And we know that as much as John W. Henry has flirted with Mbappe previously, you guys may or may not be aware, but there's reported that John W. Henry flew Kylian Mbappe and his representatives around somewhere in France, trying to convince him to move to Liverpool before he made the move from Monaco to PSG. And look, we'd all love to believe it's true. We'd all love to think that maybe Nike could step in here and, you know, flaunt their cash and help Liverpool with the shirt sales and the 30% and all this stuff. But, you know, here in reality world, if we can't afford to go out there and spend 65 million on Barella, I don't see how we can live in a world where we think John W. Henry and FSG are going to pony up €300 million. And that's before we get to the really big part about this. The most obvious part about it is, he's not worth €300 million with 1 year left on his contract, you absolute lunatics. As much as I'd love Mbappe, I would get myself a big wet fish and I would track down John W. Henry and slap him around his face with the big wet fish if Liverpool spent €300 million on Kylian Mbappe. No. And that's before we talk about his wages, rumoured to be about £1 million a week. So I don't know. I don't even know if this is a candidate for Bullshit Island, because I think we're going to need a bigger island for this one. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But, again, it's been reported, so I bring it to you guys for conversation. One more thing, Federico Valverde, it looks like, again, you're linking this to Kylian Mbappe, because if Real Madrid do want to make a move for Mbappe, they may have to tweak their squad a little bit, because the FFP regulations in La Liga are done internally, meaning that each club sends the information across to the Liga offices, information about their contracts, their wages, their income, the money that they put out each month, or each season, I should say, and La Liga tells them how much wiggle room they have. So if there is a situation where Real Madrid maybe have to free up a bit of money or a squad place, then it's potentially possible that Valverde could be sacrificed by Madrid in order to try and get Mbappe, or maybe Tchouaméni. And that leads me into the next point that I want to speak about. As much as I think all of this stuff is nonsense, as much as I think there's more chance of me growing a blonde head of 18-inch hair by tomorrow, I do have one thing at the back of my mind, and this thing is something that's been bugging me for the past couple of days. We've spoke about the deals that Liverpool have been linked to with the lads who are away at the under-21 Euros. And a lot of those deals are very doable. but we're pausing. We're not doing them. And I'm wondering why. And the reason I'm wondering why is one reason. I wonder, are Liverpool looking to see if there is a deal to be done? I'm wondering, are Liverpool waiting to see how this window progresses, if one transfer is going to trigger another transfer, and maybe there's a player who Liverpool didn't think was going to be available becoming available. And by that, I pretty much do mean Valverde or Tchouaméni, because we know Jurgen Klopp is a big admirer of both of those gentlemen. You're probably admirers. I know certainly I am. We have a Uruguayan in the team already, so one more wouldn't do any harm. And I'd like to think that if that was the situation, if Madrid were trying to free up some money or trying to get an area sorted for Mbappe, there could be something to this. Because a lot of these deals could be done. If we're in for Kone, it could be done quickly. The Gravenberch one is a little bit different, and let me explain why. Ryan Gravenberch has been speaking about his own situation, and these are his words. He said, "I'm assuming that I'll still be at Bayern next season. That's how I'm really in it. I'm at a top 3 club in the world. I think that's beautiful and special. I'm not giving up like that. My goal is to succeed at Bayern." So that's from his own mouth. And that's before we even look to the point that I said to you guys yesterday that Bayern Munich just might not want to sell. And we've heard Jurgen Klopp say that we don't want to be chasing players that will drag on throughout the summer, or players that frankly don't want to move. And the man's words is that he wants to fight for his place at Bayern. So leave him there. And I'm not convinced by him. So don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'd be very happy if he decided to stay at Bayern Munich, because I don't want Liverpool to sign Ryan Gravenberch, because I don't believe that it's necessarily a good move. A little bit more, it looks like Bobby Firmino could indeed be heading over to Al Ahly. Fabrizio Romano's been speaking, saying negotiations between Al Ahly and the representatives of Roberto Firmino are advancing, talks underway. He'd join Edouard Mendy, who's already completed medical tests and signed a 3-year contract as a new Al Ahly player. So again, let's wait and see what happens there. And then one more interesting piece of information that I wanted to just give you guys at the start of the stream, and let's see how you feel, is that apparently Liverpool have informed Romeo Lavia's agents that they're going to be making an offer next week. Now that came in from or this summer I should say, excuse me, that came in from Sasha Tavalieri, who was speaking with Redmen TV. So again, lots to go through there, and that's before we move into the other stuff that we're going to speak about tonight as well. So, as always, I'm interested to know how you guys feel about these stories. I mean, can we dream of a big signing? Could we dream? Well, look, I don't think we could dream about an Mbappe, but we could maybe dream about a Tchouaméni or a Valverde? Or do you think that this is just simply a matter of timing, and that Liverpool aren't waiting to see if some of the big guns are available, that maybe they're just holding back because, well, these deals take a little bit of time? So, my friends, it's over to you, and I want to know how you feel, because for me, I've made no secret about this. I'm sold on Thuram. Love the idea of him. We've already got Alexis McAllister. You know, you can never have too much Irish in your squad, and I'm going to die on that hill, by the way. He is Irish. But the third midfielder could be a difference maker, could be a real boost to morale in the fan base, in the squad. And if that's a Gravenberch, I find it very underwhelming. If it's a Lavia, I find it a bit of a risk. Now, I don't know much about Romeo Lavia. He could be sensational. It's my own ignorance on him, and I'm willing to put my hands up to that one. But it still doesn't excite me. It still doesn't make me feel like we're making a statement.